Hello and welcome to On the Agenda, a semi-monthly podcast by the City of Reno that quickly updates you on actions taken at recent council meetings and checks in with various departments across the city to keep you up to date with happenings within the halls of City Hall, all within the time it takes you to drive to work or loop McCarran Boulevard. I'm AJ from the City of Reno's communications team, and with me, as always, Reno City Manager Jackie Bryant, who neither of us were here at the last episode.
I know.
So thanks to my fellow comms compatriot Victoria for filling in alongside Assistant City Managers Ashley Turney and Norma Santoyo.
But you were on
fabulous.
vacation.
I was. You were sick.
I was sick. I lost my voice.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I figured it's God's way of saying I need to shut up.
Just take a little break. That's all.
Forced break is what it was. I was down for a little bit. But
Do you have to take those breaks? Or
I'm back now.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
I am too.
Before we get into today's topic, let's rewind to the most recent council meeting. Jackie, can you walk us through a few of those highlights?
Yeah, it was long, dude. We have to get food at night. We know it's going to be a long night, but we did do a lot. We heard a presentation on the Truckee Meadows Water Authority 2025 through 2045 resource plan. We also heard a presentation and update from the Truckee River Flood Management Authority on their ongoing capital improvement plan and all the really many projects that they have going on to help this region. I'm super excited about that. Finally, there was also an update on the Hexagon Unified Computer Aided Dispatch and the Records Management System, and that is going to be a fabulous win for this community when the entire region is on one CAD. That means when you call 911, someone will answer and be able to automatically dispatch the appropriate police, fire, or ambulance that you need. Whereas right now, we have to have kind of a second call in order to make it work. Isn't that right, Chief Cochran?
Do exactly right. And that's kind of the pain point we like to call it. Those call transfers, it's not a good experience for anybody who's calling 911.
No.
We want to make it as
We
seamless
don't
as possible.
want that. So we made some progress there. So I'm super excited. Did a lot.
As always, if you want to read more of these agenda items, you can visit reno.gov/news and find the latest council highlights post right there. Now, switching gears, let's dive into today's main topic, wildfire preparedness in our community. Council accepted the final 2026 Community Wildfire Protection Plan, which will guide wildfire mitigation efforts within the city of Reno and surrounding wildland-urban interface areas, or the WUI, over the next 5 years. Joining us today to explain the importance of this plan is Reno Fire Chief Dave Cochran and Reno Fire Inspector Talina Sky. Chief Cochran, Talina, thank you and welcome to On the Agenda.
Thank you, AJ. Great to be here again.
You'll get a member's jackets in the mail very soon. Talina, it's your first podcast.
It is. I'm very excited. Thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here.
I'm so glad you can be on this minor league one, we'll call it.
Yes.
So, Chief, let's start with the basics. Everyone is concerned about wildfire in our community, rightfully so. We're in a bowl of vegetation, essentially. What is the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, and why is it important to Reno right now?
So kind of writ large at a 10,000-foot level, it's a long-range plan to identify hazards in the region, in this context, the region is the city of Reno, and recommend mitigation efforts so that we can reduce the risk of wildfire in and around the city of Reno. Of course, the focus is going to be on those neighborhoods that abut against the WUI, as you described it very accurately, because that's where the risk is going to be, and that's where we want to target those fuels mitigation and other mitigation efforts that can reduce the threat of wildfire around our area. We're going to always have wildfires. That's not something that's going away, but we want to be as prepared as possible in our community, and this will help unlock funding and some other things that we can do to reduce that risk and mitigate those threats.
This is not the same WUI as the program that helps you get tuition across state lines for your kids.
But if you need help with that, my wife is really good at navigating that system.
We got you for 3 topics today. So, Talina, this isn't Reno's first CWPP, right? So what's new with the 2026 updates?
So this is not Reno's first CWPP. However, the one that we have been working off of previously was a couple decades old. And it wasn't specific to City of Reno boundaries. It was a county-wide study that was done. So we saw an opportunity to apply for funding to update the City of Reno Community Wildfire Protection Plan. And we went for it, and thankfully we were awarded funding from a FEMA FP&S Fire Prevention and Safety Grant for approximately $244,000. And with that, we hired a group of environmental consultants, SWCA, and so they really led this project.
So with the grant, that covered all of it essentially, right? Or a big portion of how much it cost to do this?
Yes, it did.
Oh, wow.
It did.
Wow, so no really financial burden.
No.
Oh, wow.
No, none at all.
Even better.
Yes. It was strictly grant funded. However, there was a match that we used with hours.
Gotcha.
So we were able to make that match with our hours that we put in to the project.
Perfect. That makes sense. Chief, what are some of the key strategies residents should know in this plan? What are some things that we should highlight?
So I mentioned the fuels mitigation, and that's really the big one. Talina's been working on identifying threat areas and coming up with plans and programs to mitigate those threats by reducing the hazardous fuels in those areas. So the CWPP really kind of hones that down, focuses it. Talina can describe it more. There's property-specific resources that are part of the plan that everybody in Reno can take advantage of. They can always call the Reno Fire Department, and we will assist them with that as well.
What number do they call?
You can reach us at 775-334-2300.
Perfect.
And ask for the Fire Prevention Bureau. Tell them what you need, and we will set them up.
And that's free, right? There's
That
no
is
charge.
free. Exactly.
Yeah, so we want people to do that.
Yeah, and we, the Reno Fire Department, and really the city, are going to be looking at those larger areas that are not necessarily property-specific, but maybe region-specific, like in the Northwest, where there are some increased threats. You've seen the goats out there. They do a great job. We're looking at funding opportunities to bring back more goats, hand crews, all different methods of reducing the fuel threat in that area and reducing the wildfire threat.
So do not call 911 to talk about the plan. That number is 775-334-2300.
That's it.
Okay. Talina, the plan on its own is great. And like we just said, no real fiscal impact to the city. So what other benefits does this provide to us?
So like Chief was saying, the benefits for us in the fire department is we can use it as a planning document for our open space. So for those areas where fuel mitigation may be needed. But also, it's really important for residents because there's a lot of guidelines on home hardening and defensible space that they can implement on their property. So it's really also an educational tool. In addition, having this updated plan will help us receive more grants because with having the updated plan, we can now apply for several grants, including the Community Wildfire Defense Grant and other state-funded opportunities.
So it almost keeps us like in compliance to keep getting this stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's recommended to be updated every 5 years because, a lot can change.
Oh, yeah.
So now that we're aware of that and the grant resources that we have, we can continue to keep on top of getting it updated as we get work done.
So, Talina, I want to talk a little bit about what you said about different individuals home hardening their own house. I think sometimes we lose awareness that what we do affects our neighbor.
Oh, I agree.
And nothing is more apparent than when it comes to wildfire. Can you talk a little bit more about how just some basic things one can do for their own home can really save an entire community?
Yeah, of course. So we get a lot of complaints about open space, and rightfully so. It can be worrisome. But I think when people look at that open space, while it can be frightening, if they take a step back and say, okay, even if that open space is on fire, what does my property look like? And they have a lot of control about what they can actually do that will make a huge difference. So home hardening is key. That first 5-foot non-combustible zone around your home, if you have your home hardening, your vents, your eaves, everything dialed in that first 5-foot non-combustible zone, that can make a huge difference.
So what does that mean when you say you want someone to home harden their vents and eaves?
So, for example, with the vents, you can get a mesh metal screening from Home Depot, from the hardware store, and you could cover your vents with that to keep embers from coming into your home.
An ember will fly in through a vent and catch the home on fire from the inside.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the outside
That's
foliage
exactly
and
right.
things.
Yeah. So,
I think we don't think about that a whole lot.
No. So we say we want to spread, ember awareness because we really want people to start thinking about the little things that can make a huge difference.
So if I'm a resident and I have a home and I want to find a place where I want to find information, where would I go to look up information about how to harden my own home?
Yeah, so with the CWPP, we have a hub site, which is really cool. So on that hub site, you can look at all of our interactive maps, and there's a page that's directed just for homeowners with home hardening and defensible space tips. You can get there by going to reno.gov/fire.
One of the biggest things I've learned about hardening your home is juniper bush itself is a horrible thing you should not have.
Bad bush.
Yeah.
Junk the junipers.
Junk
Yeah.
the junipers.
It is my mission. We have 3 outside of my house, and every day I'm like, I'm going to get you.
So that begs the question, do we have a program to help people pay to junk the junipers?
Funny you should ask. At the next council meeting, we're going to bring forward a State Farm grant that we got for green waste dumpsters.
Look at that.
Which are going to be available to the community and a perfect place to dump your junipers.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a great program. You guys do this yearly where people can essentially rent one of these for free, and it just everyone in the neighborhood can dump all their green
Again,
trash.
All the
Back to
green
that.
waste they can fit in it.
Yeah.
Community. It's all about the community.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough to receive the funding again this year from State Farm, so we're looking forward to launching that program this spring.
Many thanks to State Farm.
We are almost out of time, but Chief Cochran, one more question before we go. What is one thing you want residents to remember about wildfire preparedness in Reno? There's one tip you can give somebody.
Everyone can make a difference. If you put the effort in at your own home, as Jackie mentioned, that's going to help not only you, but it's going to help your community. So if everybody contributes a little, the difference will be a lot.
I love that. And it's reno.gov/fire for all things Reno Fire Department, or check you guys out online as well, social media at Reno Fire Department. Chief Cochran and Talina, thank you both for joining us today and helping explain what the Community Wildfire Protection Plan is to Renoites out there. Before we sign off, Jackie, what can residents expect at the next Reno Council meeting on February 25th?
Well, thank you, AJ. At the next meeting, Council will continue discussing important items related to public safety, infrastructure, and community development. Council will hear an item from the Historical Resources Commission nominating the East 4th Street Historic District to the National Register of Historical Places. Council will potentially accept a grant from the Reno Rodeo Association to improve the Idlewild Park splash pad, enhancing inclusive play opportunities for persons with disabilities. They'll get a presentation on the maintenance and upkeep of our iconic Reno Arch. And Council will hear a presentation from the Regional Transportation Commission of the 2027 Interlocal Agreement authorizing RTC projects within the City of Reno. They include preventive and corrective maintenance, traffic signal intersection improvements, active transportation improvements, and roadway rehabilitation and reconstruction projects. As always, residents can view agendas, staff reports, and meeting recordings at reno.gov/meetings. We are never bored.
There's always something happening at the Reno City Council meeting. That about does it for this week's episode. If you want to stay in the know with Reno, then visit reno.gov/on the agenda. There you will find everything in one easy place: council meeting agendas, city news, past episodes, and even a link to sign up for the Reno Report newsletter, which comes out bi-weekly, bi-monthly, every other week is when it comes out. Thank you for listening to On the Agenda, keeping you connected to the decisions shaping Reno.